Thank you so much, Lisa, and welcome everyone. Like Lisa said, my name is Kristen Speller. I'm the Chief Creative and the Chief Brand Officer of Double Down Cosmetics. And together, jointly with my husband, we own an organic, non-GMO, plant-based, vegan skincare and cosmetic brand. Through this experience and through being a beauty entrepreneur, as well as many other things that I do, being a professional musician, as well as the co-founder of our nonprofit From Here to There, I wanted to talk today about the veil of inclusion and what that means to me as a Black woman and as a woman of color. In marginalized societies, we talk about the veil of inclusion. What does that mean? How does that impact your business acumen? How does that impact what you're bringing into the world and what you're taking away? So I'm going to talk about navigating through the business sense through my lens. And what I'm going to teach today is how to create your own space, how to separate yourself from others, and how do you build relationships from this perspective. And so when we talk about inclusion and lifting the veil and what society says, what you need to do to be included, I created my own space by using my own voice. My own voice was not being heard in the beauty space, in the professional space, and I felt incredibly, I would say, distant from a lot of folks who were not including me. So what did I do? I included myself. I started showing up for myself. I gave myself the creative space to develop what it was that I wanted to see. And what I wanted to see was brand inclusion. I wanted to see all facets of life and beauty entrepreneurs and beauty influencers being included, because we have seen a shift within our country in the past year and a half. We have seen a shift in the retail space in the past year and a half. And we have not seen the diversity that we have wanted to see in these spaces. And so when I felt as though I wasn't included, I said, Kristen, how can you show up for yourself? How can you be included in a space that doesn't want to include you? So I created my own. I reached out to media. I reached out to makeup artists. I reached out to influencers. I reached out to anybody that wanted to listen, because our brand welcomes and includes everyone. And within that modicum, I saw a shift with people including me, because I always said, like my mother used to tell me, the worst that they can say is no. But I didn't get no's. I started to get a lot of yeses. And when you get a lot of yeses, you can perpetuate the narrative of everybody being included, because this is what you're asking this community to do. And so I created a brand that was community conscious. We give makeovers to our domestic violence survivors, and we are a community brand. We are separated from any other brand that's out there because we developed community conscious cosmetics. So whether that's a vegan lip balm that's going to make you feel hydrated and good for the day, whether it's a touch of color that's going to give you a little, zhuzh in your step, whether it's a bold, pigmented eyeshadow that's going to allow you to go out into the world and say, you know what, I am a powerful woman. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create these different facets of where we are, whether it was internal or external. So the internal part came from developing skincare that was plant-based, developing wellness that people could enjoy, and where everybody was included. It's not a brand where it says, oh, this color is for somebody else, and this color is not for me, and this product is for this type of skin tone and not for me. That's not what we did. We developed a brand that is inclusive, that welcomes people, and that makes you feel like you are somebody when you show up in this world. Our brand is really about welcoming people that want to create, that have passion, that have dignity, that are community conscious, that give back. What are you doing every day to give back? First and foremost, to yourself. That is the main key, because the universe guided my soul as a domestic violence survivor to not feel left out, which is often the case in marginalized communities. You can create your own space by doing what no one else is doing, including who? Your very best self. So I'm going to give you some tips to structure your daily plan. When I wake up in the morning and I know that I have 3 to 5 meetings to attend, I always wake up and I say, universe, thank you for including me. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for creating this day that I've yet to see that is unlike any other. Thank you, universe, for affirming my position in the beauty space. Thank you, universe, for positioning myself in the business space. Thank you, universe, for providing wealth for our brand so we can expand. Thank you, universe, for giving us the correct people that are in our tribe. Thank you, universe, for attaching the people that are gonna lift us up. Thank you, universe, for including me with others. Thank you, universe, for the others that need to be included and who aren't included yet. Thank you, universe, for Double Down Cosmetics, because we double down and we get it done. Thank you, universe, for giving us the wherewithal and the intestinal fortitude to create colors, to be a creator who can make women feel so beautiful. Thank you, universe, for allowing my 2 hands to develop plant-based skincare. Thank you, universe, for giving me the opportunity to be the chief creative and chief brand officer of this brand that gives back to mental health in Los Angeles, that gives back to the domestic violence community, that allows me to cover up women's wounds when they have been subjected to domestic violence. Thank you for giving me this gift and allowing me to make over women so they can go and have a dignified day when they show up to court. Thank you, universe, for giving me the opportunity to provide a voice in this space. Thank you, universe, for allowing me to attract whatever it is that I want. Thank you, universe, for creating opportunities that didn't include me in corporate America. Thank you, universe, for allowing me to just be. Thank you, universe, for allowing the law of attraction to be attracted to me through my desires, through my money, through my people, through my family, through my beauty retail space, through my aura. Aura is very important. What do you do and what are you doing to put yourself out there to be included? I want to know, because for many years, it wasn't that I didn't include myself. I didn't know how. I had to learn from such vast experience. I didn't know how to show up for myself. I didn't know how to navigate the uncharted waters of being included and really removing that veil that was over me. And I didn't know really how to show up for anything on many days. But through life's experiences and through being a musician and through being a creator, what I realized is that I am the most important person. I am the most important being. I am the most important to people who love me and to the people that I love. So I want you to write 3 things down. How are you including yourself? Why are you including yourself? And how are you going to show up and include yourself in outside spaces, whether it's in business, whether it's in motherhood, whether it's being a wife, whether it's you being in school, or whether it is facing that challenging situation on the job that you do not want to face. How are you going to go in and tell your boss, I want to be included. I deserve to be included. I am worthy of being included. How are you going to show up and tell a different narration of a story for yourself that has never, ever been told? How are you going to do that day to day? I want you to write those things down. And if you want, you can send me an email at kristen@kristenspeller.com so I can know how you are showing up for yourself. Because let me tell you something. When you release that veil that you feel that no one will like you, no one will think you're pretty, no one will think that you're good enough, no one will invite you to dinner, no one will invite you to a conference, no one will include you. How are you going to change that mindset? How are you going to leave today and show up for yourself for tomorrow? Because you have to think of it in a span of a week. Let's take a week, 7 days. Okay, I take Sunday to Sunday. Some people say, okay, wow, it's Monday. Oh my gosh, it's Monday. And I have to tell you, there's a hashtag that talks about Motivational Monday. But before that hashtag, people were like, oh, it's another Monday. And let me tell you, when I get up on a Monday, because I know that that is the beginning of the professional work week, I am jazzed up. I am revamped for Mondays because I know that when I include myself on a Monday, it is going to filter into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday until I reset my intentions the following Monday. That's how I live my life. That's how I conduct myself in business. And trust me, there have been many Mondays where I did not want to show up. But I said to myself, if I am able to reset my mindset, if I'm able to refocus what it is that I want to accomplish the week that I'm in, starting with that Monday, I guarantee myself that I will have success. Because success starts with including only you. That is the key to success. I have a lot of people ask me, Kristen, how do you do it all? I don't do it all. Okay, I don't. What I do is I take pockets of things that I need to get done, and I do the small little excerpts well. And that's how I get those things done. I don't get it all done, but I get the excerpts of my goals every day done. Why? Because I have a small list. I don't have a list of 10 things every day that I have to get done. I span them out because you know why? I want to get the small things done proficiently rather than the big things not being done efficiently. And for me, this has been a game changer because I'm going to tell you a story. When we started Double Down Cosmetics, my husband and I, we are the co-founders of our brand. We started with this bag. Do you see what it says? It says starts with foundation. I believe in this bag. This was the first product we ever released. And why did we release this product, this vegan faux leather bag? Because my husband and I believed that everything starts with foundation, and we still believe that to this day. I will always look at this bag, even though it was quite a dismal success, I would say. And I can talk about it now and I can laugh about it now, but it wasn't a big success. It started okay on Amazon. I said, well, at least we started. Why? Because this is our foundation. And I knew that if we laid this foundation early on, that my husband and I would be able to create something even further that was conscious, that was organic, and that we believed in, and that we were being included in the process. And this is why we believe that everything starts with your own foundation. I cannot tell you how many times I am reminded when I look at this bag. I keep this in my bag. This is my makeup bag, but I also keep one that has no contents in it because I keep one so I can just see it around my office. Because every time I feel like maybe the meeting didn't go well, maybe this color could be developed a little bit better, maybe we need to add a little bit more of our rose water in a product, I always go back to the drawing board and remind myself that it starts with my own foundation. And that is how I include myself. Because we always hear, wow, you can get it done. A woman can do everything. And a woman can do everything, but I cannot do everything at the same time. I know that's what society has led us to believe. They have led us to believe a lot of things, whether it's us not being good enough or us being really navigated toward a patriarchal society. They tell us so many lies. And you know what? I believed them. I believed them 10 years ago for a lot of reasons, because I'm a domestic violence survivor. And when you live in hiding, you learn so many different things. I learned how to quiet my own voice. I learned how to quiet the voices of others, because sometimes you have to take it down a notch in order to start to hear your own voice. Because I had to quiet my voice because there were so many things in my head. I felt like I was in a position and I was feeling like I was juxtaposed, and I couldn't really filter out of that. And I had to really begin my own new journey. And that had to start with me. It had to start with me being included. I never really thought of including myself because I was a workhorse. I worked until the cows come in. I was working a corporate job as a hospital department administrator. I was on several different committees. I was a vice president of 5 different committees, on top of running a department of 140 employees, 4 supervisors, and 2 secretaries. And it was a lot on me while I was living in hiding. But I knew that I had to sustain myself financially, but I was just going and going and going. And when I became a musician, I was working part-time as a musician, as well as keeping my corporate hospital job. And for the first time, I would say yes, for the first time in my life as a musician while working corporate, I felt included because I was writing my own songs. I was producing my own music with my fabulous band and producers. I was allowing my voice to be heard. I wrote my first song 12 years ago. It's called Bruised. And when that song was released, the tears of joy started to flow because I wanted to tell a different story. I wanted to share that I am finally being included because I am including myself. Yesterday was 11 years that I went public for the first time as a survivor. It was the first time that I went on radio here in Los Angeles. It was the first time that I shared my story. And I was very nervous. There was so much trepidation. I remember just being there shaking. I was shaking. You couldn't see it in my face, but I was shaking. My hands were shaking like this. And I said, you know what? I said, even if my voice shakes, I'm going to include myself. It not only changed the paradigm of my life, but it changed my career. It changed the people that were entering into my life. And it made such a significant difference, and it changed my entire life. Do you want to know why it changed my entire life? Because even though I was scared, even though I was silenced, even though I was living in hiding, I still decided to include myself for the first time. And ladies, when I finished that interview, I went outside and I saw the sun, and I looked up at the sun and I said, I did it. I don't care what happens from here on in because I showed up for myself. And I will tell you, it was the most magnificent, spiritual, divine experience that I had in my life. And it began the process of healing for me. I was in therapy for 3 years. I went to therapy because I wanted to better myself. I didn't want to stay in the same space. And I knew that as a musician, putting out my first album, Misguided Dignity, about being a survivor of domestic violence, that I would have to grow differently, that I would have to grow in an unconventional way. But I will tell you, the growth was worth it. There were some hard times. There were hard times financially. There were hard times spiritually. There were hard times mentally and emotionally. But you know what? I powered through it. I powered through those challenging times when I had to journal. Why did I stay in this relationship? I had to power through the journaling of why I never showed up for myself. I have journals upon journals upon journals where I still see the teardrops on the pages. But I knew that if I put the work in, I knew that if I could truly, truly show up, because sometimes you say you're going to show up and you're kind of, you're not really showing up. You're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But I said, if I can truly, truly show up for myself because I am worth it, then I will start to relive and re-begin this journey all over again. That I could become reborn in a different situation that had nothing to do with the 10 years of my past. And if I could do that, I would be successful. I didn't know how, but I will tell you this. When I met my husband, he didn't know that I was living in hiding. And the most important thing that he told me was, honey, don't worry about the how. And you know what? During these past fantastic years with him, I haven't really worried about the how. I've worried about things, but I haven't worried about the how because I go back to that day, 11 years ago yesterday, when I looked up at the sun and I felt that divine spirit. I felt my divine feminine coming through. And I go back to that. And it reminded me, yes, honey, I don't need to worry about the how. The how is already done because the universe set its intentions for me because of how I show up, how I start my day on Mondays, how I'm able to accomplish what I have accomplished, which I will say that people will look at you of where you live, the car that you drive, the clothes that you wear, even the makeup that you put on. But I will tell you, at the end of the day, none of that matters if you're not being included with your own mantra and with your own self. None of it matters. Because you know what? You can show up with no makeup, hair not washed for 10 days, being in your pajamas outside. But if you're including yourself and you show up that way, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. You have to remove the veil in order for you to be included. And that's what it comes down to. You have to decide what that veil is. For me, that veil was, I will be abundant because when I was in domestic violence, I wasn't abundant. I wasn't abundant in wealth. I wasn't abundant in my emotional space. And I wasn't abundant in my mental space. And so those are the three things with my veil that I had to take off to be included. And when we entered this clean, conscious beauty space, I will tell you, my husband and I, we didn't know anyone. We just said, you know what, we're going to start because all you have to do is begin. That's it. People say, oh my gosh, business seems so hard. My job is so hard, but all you have to do is begin. That's it. Because once you begin, and once you're telling a different story, and once you say to the universe, I want to begin, I want to include myself, the universe is going to say, okay, show me how you want to be included. And that's what it's about, ladies. How are you going to show the universe? How are you going to attract the law with how you want to be included? This past year, we've had the biggest success we've ever had with Double Down Cosmetics, which I'm proud to say. We've been included in many publications. We've been included in Yahoo News, in Apple News, in Who, What, Where, Beauty Independent, Credo, Essence Magazine, which was a dream come true, because I decided that I was going to show up in a different way in the business space. And not only that, it led us to be included is the key word, in 2 accelerators where many brands applied. And I said to my husband, let's just apply because the worst they can say is no. And you know what? Guess what they said on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes. They said yes. We will include you. because I took the intention of saying our brand is good enough to be included. I'm good enough to be included. My husband is good enough to be included, and we made it happen. Once we completed the accelerator programs, Walmart reached out to us. They reached out to us to pitch our products. And we were like, oh my goodness. I said for a moment, I can't believe it. And I said, you know what? No, I'm going to change that. I can believe it. Because we had done all the work to be included already. And when Walmart came to us, we pitched the lip balm that I have on today. It's called The Future. And I am going to show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like. This is the Future lip balm. And this is what they asked us to pitch. So we pitched the Future lip balm because we decided that the future is ours. We delivered a pitch in which Walmart told us that we were pitch perfect. We did not miss a beat. I don't really believe in perfection, but I have to tell you, when we pitched to Walmart, we were exceptional because I believed that we would be exceptional. And the day before we were going to announce being in Walmart online, before we were going to announce the partnership, the Walmart team came to us the day before, and this is after I'd written everything about the post and the social media of what we were going to release the next day. They said, Kristen and Marvin, do you have more products? And I was like, I said, yes, we have a whole host of products. And they said, do you have more products for us here at Walmart? I said, you want more products? And this was the day before we were announcing that we were a Walmart partner. And they said, yes. I said, yes, we can include our best sellers. They asked us for 10 more products. Why? Because I knew that we were going to go the distance. I knew that it wasn't just going to be this one product. I knew we were going to have more products in Walmart. I didn't know it was going to be at that time, but that's how the universe aligned it. Because we included ourselves and I included myself as the Chief Creative Officer of Double Down Cosmetics. So now we have a multitude of products on Walmart.com. We are gearing up for some other opportunities, and we have expanded to HellaBlack.com, and we are also in Herbally Grounded in-store in Las Vegas and Henderson, which is a wellness cove for wellness. And being at Herbally Grounded, it has been fantastic. I've been a patron of Herbally Grounded for 10 years, and when we went to them, they said, absolutely, it's a no-brainer to have you here. This is how I showed up for myself. This is how I included myself. This is how I included our brand, in which I'm so proud of, because I and my husband, we doubled down and we have gotten it done. Show up for yourself. Show up for your own space. Take that veil off and prove to this world that you are not only worthy, but that you are divine, that you are capable, that you can fix anything that has been broken, because you're going to set that intention to the universe and to yourself. That is the most important thing. I want you to know that for many years I never felt included. I never felt like I was part of the crowd. I had a different work ethic than a lot of my colleagues. I didn't dress the same. But you know what? That didn't matter to me. It didn't matter because I wanted to show up the way I wanted to show up. I wanted to show up the way that I was meant to be since I was born. I don't care about being like anybody else. I don't care about looking like anybody else. I don't care about any of that because those things don't matter to me. What matters is what's in my heart space. What matters is what is in my mental space. And what matters most importantly is how I serve and love every single day. Because I don't want anybody to ever not be included. I don't want anybody to ever come to me again and saying, I'm lacking inclusion. Nobody wants to be friends with me. Nobody wants to hear from me. Show up for yourself. It will change your life. My name is Kristen Speller, the Chief Creative and Chief Brand Officer of Double Down Cosmetics, and it is a pleasure to bring to you today the Veil of Inclusion.